Hello everyone and welcome back to Excel with Matt. Today we're going to be talking about data entry and formulas. Mostly, that's a terrible name for this episode because it's going to be mostly about tables. So we're just going to talk about data entry, tables, how to format tables, and the different options that are available, as well as totals row, and some of the different formulas that you can do with tables. So voila! Look, I have data. It's brilliant. I just came up with some figures here. This would be like, the name of a customer, maybe, for a business. This could be like the customer number. This will be like the phone number for that customer, and then, how much they spent last year, that sort of thing. So for this, you can just enter this data into the cell. There's no special formatting involved here. I actually just typed one Al's beef like this, exactly like that. That's not beef, but you know what I'm saying. Um, and that's how I entered all this data. As you can see, the phone numbers are kind of cut off. Some of these names are a little bit too long. So let's talk about how to format this in a way that is reasonable so that we can see all of the data and not just some of it. So we'll start by clicking up here. These are the columns. You can actually, there's a lot of different options here. You can actually cut and move these columns if you want. You can just insert them like that, and then you can switch the columns around. We're not going to do that right now because we like the way this is formatted. We're just trying to get these to kind of match up. And so the quick way to do that is if you hover over a column between two columns, there's this little line there. Your cursor will change to what this little thing here looks. And you can actually change the width of that column to any width that you want it to be. The best way that I've found to do it is just to double click. If you double click, it formats this automatically to the size that you want it to be. There's this little button here that highlights every cell. If you highlight multiple rows and you double click, it will format all of the rows to be the correct size for their data, whatever the data is that's in there. If you want all the rows to be the same, you can actually do that as well. If you pull this and you actually click and hold, you can change the size of the cell like I've shown. If you want to just pull it up to like maybe 115 pixels, we'll say, it will change all three of the cells, all three of those columns, to the exact same size. It's really nice. You can also hold Control if you want and select multiple that way, and it will change only the size of those, and you can change the size of the inner one on its own, and then as soon as you pick up D and you change the size of that, it changes B and D because they're both selected. For this, we just want the normal formatting. I just double clicked and it looks like all of the data is shown in there, so we are all set to go. There's actually a built-in function in Excel called tables. If you click on insert and go to table, as long as you have some sort of range selected, even if you don't, here I didn't have the range selected, it corrected what I had selected into the entire data. And now it's saying, where's the data for your table? Well, that's it. That's it right there. It's clearly selected. If it wasn't selected, I would be able to hover over, click what I need to click, and you can also type. You can also type in here. My data has headers, so this little checkbox here, if you do select it, it will make the top row of your column the header for all of those. And so this would be, like I said before, if this was like a customer number, I'd want it to say customer number, not 1. 1 is not the header, so my table does not have headers. So I will click OK, and it created a table for me. What I like about tables is that there's a lot of different things that you can do as far as the design of the table itself. And so Excel is really cool, and they give you this fancy little tab here. Design. Very well named. There's a lot of different things that you can do. You can change the color. I prefer this black. I think it's pretty cool. It looks pretty sleek. But you have orange, gray ones, yellow ones, and then there's a bunch of others. If you tab up and down here, you can see different format styles of the tables. And so it is pretty cool to be able to kind of customize it really at the click of a button here. So we'll just pick one and go with that. I think this one looks pretty good, so we'll stick with that for right now. The other options, I really want to highlight this total row right here. The total row is pretty cool. It allows you to automatically put in a row for the totals of those columns, each of the columns. Um, this one is the only one that defaulted, and it defaulted to a sum, the addition of all of these in column 4 here, which I was saying was like sales or something of the last year. Um, you can also change that by this little arrow that shows up. You can make it the average sales. You can make it the number of sales that you had, 5 total, max and min, standard deviation of the sales, which is crazy if you're looking to do some good statistical analysis. There you go. The variance is right there. Pretty cool stuff. Basically, when you hit these pull down things, you have the ability to change what it looks like. So that's a pretty cool function. Older versions of Excel may not have that. You may just have the ability to total the row and not do the average and things like that. It kind of depends on what version of Excel you're using. But that's the basics for tables here. Like I said, really easy to format. The design tab makes it super simple. It's just become habit now to put all of my data in tables. The primary reason is this filtering and sorting feature. If you want to filter by the lowest cost to the highest cost, or highest cost to lowest cost, maybe you want to sort these alphabetical. I actually did that already. 1 to 5 is A through E. I wonder how this will format it. Oh, okay. It considers these numbers and it's just counting up. So thank you for watching. Be sure to leave a like and subscribe, and make sure to leave a comment if you want to see something new in Excel that you haven't learned before.